guys, today it's time for another episode of Revisiting Old Favorites. So today I am gonna watch my top books of 2015 video. I'm super excited. I have done one for 2013 and 2014 as well. So if you have not yet seen these, I'm gonna leave a link in the description and in the info card. And yeah, I think we should just get started because these videos tend to be kind of long. As always, while I get ready, I am gonna talk about what I am expecting from this list. So obviously 2015 was the year that A Darker Shade of Magic came out, which I know is number 4. I'm gonna talk about that when we get to that point. I actually remember my whole top 4. Am I gonna talk about it yet? No, I'm not gonna talk about it yet, but I remember my whole top 4. And then I think my number 10 was Geek Girl. And that's everything that I remember from it. The rest I've completely forgotten. We're just gonna watch it together. I love doing this and I'm just very excited. And we're just gonna start. Hi guys! Today I want to talk about my top 10 books of 2015! Woo! I actually didn't have to cut out any books this year. At the end of 2015 I had the perfect amount of books, which is 10 books. I'm not doing like top 15 as I did the last years. I always do top 10 because I don't know otherwise where I'm going to end up. Like I don't want to do top 20 of 2020. Though this year I do have to say that only 3 of these books made it into my like all-time favorite books. Yeah, let's get started. My number 10 of the year 2015 is Geek Girl by Holly Smale. Okay. I really enjoyed this book. It's just a really fun book. It was a lot more than I had expected. I thought that it would just be that, like just a fun, geeky book, but the main character, Harriet, is just so unique and so special and so nice, and it was just a really fun and interesting and geeky and nerdy and romancy book, and I wasn't expecting to feel as many things as I felt, and really loved this one and would definitely recommend it. At that point I did not yet know what I was signing up for. I thought it would just be like a fun, quirky kind of book. I definitely did not expect to be in love with the series. The 5th and 6th book especially, they were absolutely amazing and blew me the fuck away. Made it into my favorites of 2017, both of them. So yeah, it's really great to see, you know, a book from a series show up again. That's actually really a wonderful kind of looking back at it now. It makes me really happy to see how much I grew to love that series. My number 9 is The Selection by Kiera Cass. I just always say, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh, I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about that. So I know I like the one more than I like The Selection. That means that will be on there as well, which I feel fine about that. I'm not sure how I feel about The Selection being on here though. Obviously, mostly about the romance, and if you are just looking for that, I can highly recommend this one. Obviously, I really enjoyed that trilogy. I really enjoyed that series. You know, actually, even though I read them on Kindle, I ended up getting physical copies of it because I just really enjoyed them, but it feels weird to have them on this list. I don't feel that strongly about them, and I was not expecting this. I had forgotten that I read them that year. That's why I was not expecting it, but also even if I had not forgotten that I had read them that year, I don't think I would have expected the first one to be on the list. I think the third one I would have been like, yeah, I really like that, but the first one, but I mean, it's fun. I still think it's fun. My number 8 is Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. This is the second book in the Anna and the French Kiss companion trilogy, and I definitely loved Lola most of all of these. Loved the book most, loved the character most, loved the love interest most. Yeah, but all in all, really loved the trilogy. Read like all 3 books in 48 hours or something. I was really into them and I couldn't stop reading them. But Lola was definitely my favorite, I think. And I always feel weird saying that because I know there's lots of people out there who really don't like Lola, but I actually felt like I could relate to Lola the most. I don't know, I just really fell in love with Lola. Oh yeah, I completely forgot I read the trilogy that year. Yeah, Lola still makes a lot of sense. I mean, I haven't reread it. Definitely need to reread that whole trilogy, but oh my god, yes, I really loved Lola, and I actually think that even if I would read it today, I think I would still love it. I think there would be a couple of things that I would think a little bit differently about than I did back then, but I think I would still love it. I think I would still relate to Lola quite a lot. Yeah, I feel like at this point, what kind of changed most about it is that at this point I own it, and I am not ashamed to say that I relate a lot to Lola. I don't care anymore that people hate her and find her the most annoying and I'm the one to relate to her. I fucking own it. My number 7 is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, and honestly it doesn't really surprise me that this made my top books. Even if I thought I had it all figured out, there was still another twist that made me go like, what the fuck? And it was just the total brain fuck. This book was insanely good. At the end of it, you're just like, whoa. So highly recommended. Really good book. Okay, yeah, I mean, I remember that I really enjoyed Gone Girl, and I think it was maybe even the first thriller I had ever read, so it definitely makes a lot of sense. And I remember, like, I knew the big twist, I guess. It's obvious, I think everybody who picks the book up or who watches the movie, I think kind of knows what to expect. But I remember that I was so surprised how soon that twist would get revealed and how many other things would then happen. So yeah, it was definitely a great book, and I get why it's on the list. That was something I was absolutely not expecting as well. Like, not at all. My number 6 is The One by Kiera Cass. Yeah, obviously love this even more than the selection. It just kind of, you know, we kind of got to the point in this one, and I just really enjoyed that. It got heavier on the romance. Of course, this book and the whole trilogy is extremely obvious. Yeah, we know what's going to happen, but that didn't take away any of my enjoyment with reading this series. It's so enjoyable, so much fun, such a like really angsty and lovely romance. Just absolutely, totally 100% my thing. I think it's definitely just very enjoyable, and I just like these kinds of books, and I just like romance. This kind of almost makes me want to reread the trilogy. I don't think I ever considered that before, really. Watch my video about rereading to know why, but now I'm kind of getting a feeling like I want to reread that. Number 5 is Ready Player One by Ernst Cline. Another one that is definitely not a surprise to me. I was really sure that I would love this book quite a lot. I described this book as perfect, and I'm still thinking that. I think this book is perfect. It just didn't make it like farther up in my list because the other books just had more like emotional attachment for me, but this book is absolutely perfect. I just think everyone should have read this book. Kind of really hope that this is going to be like a modern classic because it's so good. I think actually Ready Player One is on its way to become a modern classic. Whatever the kind of current discussions about it might be, I think it's definitely on the way to become a modern classic. Now, Ready Player One is something where I have a problem with rereading it because, as you can clearly tell, I really love this book, and I think I would still love the storyline and everything, but I just become more conscious and more aware of certain issues just in general in the world, but also about certain books. And Ready Player One is one of these books. Some of the things people say about it is a little bit too much. I think people are being a little bit harsh when it comes to critiquing the readers for liking it more than they critique the actual book for the stuff that is in it. But yeah, that makes me kind of nervous to reread it. Yeah, but definitely makes sense that this is on the list, and who knows, eventually I probably reread it, maybe before I watch the movie. And yeah, but I've also completely forgot about it. My number 4 is another one that is not really a surprise to me, probably not to you as well, and I would have been seriously sad if the author wouldn't have made it to my top list this year, and that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. It's another one that didn't quite make it to my all-time favorites. That's gonna change, I think that this will probably come with reading the sequels and the other books in the trilogy or series, whatever. But this was a really good first book, and it started out so well, and I just absolutely loved the world building as always, absolutely loved the characters as always. Victoria Schwab just absolutely knows what she's doing. Oh, and I just spilled tea. Well, it's nice and warm, but yeah, she knows what she's doing. That sounds like I peed myself. and she does it really, really well. I love this one a lot, but I can't wait to see more in this series and in this world, because I think it's going to be even more amazing, and I'm pretty sure that the second book in this trilogy is going to make next year's favorite list. Oh my god! I always love these, they always make me so emotional, it's so great. So yeah, obviously, you know, just everything I said kind of became true. This is definitely a book that after I reread it in 2016, then made it to my favorites of all time, because that's when I really kind of started appreciating the whole world and all of the characters. And then obviously with reading the sequels, I also just realized how important I find that first book. And now obviously that whole trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. But yeah, it's just always really fun to see my kind of reaction to the beginnings. I already knew what I was getting into, I think, compared to like Geek Girl, for example, where I didn't know that I would get so attached. I think you could clearly tell that I already knew what was gonna happen. We're on to my top 3, and all of these books I'm excited about number 3 of all time. My number 3 is an absolute surprise. Like, I never thought that this book would made it on this list, and that is actually The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. Oh my god, I loved it so much. Like, I think it's a really complicated and just really nerdy thing. Enjoyed it so much, enjoyed listening to it quite a lot, and at the end we got to like more of the story of like our main characters from The Lord of the Rings. That obviously made me quite happy. Never thought it would make it here, because it is like a history book, and history was one of my like most hated subjects at school, but apparently when it's about Middle Earth I really enjoy it. So I know that this is a book that will stick with me for a really long time, and that I probably will reread quite a lot in my lifetime. This is so great. I love this so much, because this really is a book that's completely different to what I normally read. Like, obviously I love fantasy, but it's such intense, dense kind of fantasy, and really, as I said, it almost feels like a historical non-fiction book. But obviously it's about a fictional world, but I feel like that's really how it feels when you read it. And the fact that I love that book so much is still somehow amazing to me, but I think it's because I just love that world so much, and I would not have loved this book if I didn't love the movies, absolutely not. But I don't know, it still fascinates me how much I just love that book, and I definitely need to listen to that again very soon. And there's still so much information in it that I haven't quite absorbed yet, so I think I just want to listen to it. As I said, like, I think it's gonna stick with me, and I want to reread it a lot more times, but I also think it's just something where I will constantly benefit from rereading it. I think every time I will get some new information out of it, I will remember something else from it. This is still something that I have a lot of great feelings about, so that's really great. Yeah. Number 2 is probably only my number 2 because it is the first book in a series, whereas my number 1 is a standalone, but I cannot wait to read more of it. It is The Witch Hunter by Virginia Baker. I absolutely fell in love with it. It was a very simple story, like it was nothing like crazy, but it was a really nice fantasy concept, really cool characters, and I just really fell in love with the world and just with the whole concept, and I cannot wait to see where this is going. I need to reread The Witch Hunter so bad. I'm honestly not sure if I would still appreciate this as much today as I did back then. I think I just read a lot more of this kind of fantasy since I read this one, and I think it will fall a little bit flat in comparison to the other ones, but this is definitely one where I don't feel bad about that. I think this is one where it will just kind of show the personal journey I have made as a reader, and I think it will always be a book and a duology that will kind of stay close to my heart, so I don't think I will lose that, but it's just something that I'm actually like very interested to see how I feel about it today, and I might end up coming out of it and loving it even more. But currently I just have this feeling that I don't think I would love it quite as much anymore now, and so I'm really rather interested in seeing what I would think of it once I reread it. This is definitely, I think, kind of the most interesting one out of these, because this is the one that I feel absolutely 100% deserves its place on this list, but that I think I will feel differently about when I reread it today. Yeah, now I'm excited about number 1. Oh. And my number 1, another pretty obvious one if you have been here this year, it is Never Never by Brianna Schrum. I do say it like that. Maybe it's Schrum. I have no idea, but
I don't know. Anyway, Never Never is a Peter Pan. This book was so amazing, so much more than I had expected it would be. It was very heavy on the romance side, which made this book absolutely perfect for me. I loved it so much. I cried like 3 times or something. This book really left me speechless. Like I was just but this book was really just so good. I never expected that I would love it that much. Like I had really high expectations because I think Captain Hook is such an amazing character that I really want to know more about, and I love all kinds of retellings and things that have to do with Peter Pan and especially with Hook. So yeah, I went into it with incredibly high expectations, and I never thought that it would like crush all of these expectations and just be this amazing, seriously crazy beautiful book that it was. Pick it up right the fuck now. It's just so amazing. This is another one that will stick with me for a really long time, that I will probably reread several times in my life.
Oh yeah, I actually only recently finally got a physical copy of Never Never. It's not available in hardcover, just paperback, and it was always really expensive, but then I saw it was on sale, so I bought it finally. So now I finally have a physical copy that's right there next to Mockingjay. So a reread is definitely happening very soon. I'm very excited about it. Oh yes. I don't even know what to say about it. I think I said everything, but I just loved Never Never so much. It was just so good, so beautiful, so great, and just I really did not expect this to have such a big focus on the romance. I don't think I expected romance from it at all, so when that was such a big theme in the book, that just blew me away. Just love it. Just fucking love it. And I'm also so glad that this introduced me to the wonderful author that is Brianna Schramm, who I've been following on Twitter since I read that book, and she is great. Yeah, just good memories, good things. I'm excited and definitely want to reread this soon, and it's also on my plans of 2018, so I'm pretty sure that's actually gonna happen. So yeah, this was me reacting to my 2015 favorites. I am gonna take a break now because obviously it hasn't really been that long since I did my 2016 favorites, so I don't really think it would make a lot of sense for me to react to that. So that's probably gonna happen at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019 probably. If there is anything else that you think would be interesting to watch me react to, please leave that in the comments down below. I'm more than willing to do another kind of reaction series or just a couple of videos, but I don't really know what to react to. Reacting to my hauls doesn't really make sense because I either read everything or DNF'd or got rid of the books that I bought in all of my hauls. Don't really have anything like, oh my god, like I bought that 5 years ago, I need to read it finally. That's not really, I don't really have that. So I'm not really sure. So if you have anything that you think might be interesting for me to react to, then just let me know in the comments down below. Revisiting old favorites is just gonna go on like a 1-year hiatus. But yeah, obviously, as always, I want to know your thoughts. Was there anything surprising in there? I think for me this was actually the most surprising list. I think, I'm not sure. Just always love to know your kind of thoughts on these old videos. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!